Good, happy Sunday morning, everyone. I'm Riley King, and welcome to the Riley King Newscast. Let's get started. First up, senior Londonderry couple facing foreclosure and eviction. Let's take a listen to this video from WMUR News 9.
Double caramel and unleash your wild side.
Even in the snow, hundreds showed up Saturday at 10 Old Coach Road in Londonderry, where everything must go. Everything in the cabinets, mementos, pictures on the wall, even Patrick and Patty Sheridan themselves.
We're losing our home, you know that. So we got to be out of here by the 5th of the month.
The Sheridans' home is in foreclosure. They signed up for a reverse mortgage about a decade ago. He's 90, she's 80, and they didn't expect life at home to end like this.
And that's not the way it should be. When you get to a certain age,
your stomach is turning all the time like this here. She's crying, and it's just not right. It took us a year to get a place to live. I mean, and you live in constant terror of where are we going to go? On the street?
This weekend, an estate sale is going on around the Sheridans as they prepare to move to a small assisted living apartment. Local liquidator Attic and All heard about their situation and is essentially donating its services.
I spent 70 hours here this week getting the house set up for, doing an estate sale, trying to make sure that they could get as much as they can.
Patrick and Patty are grateful, but say it's still difficult.
it's hard getting rid of everything. See complete strangers coming to help us.
Some stop by to chat, others leave donations, doing what they can to make up for a loss that feels too big for a price tag.
It's just a shame.
In Londonderry, Adam Sexton, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that report. Military grad device washes ashore on Duxbury Beach. Let's take a listen to this video from WCVB Boston.
Seasonal specialty stores in Foxborough and Natick. Now through Sunday, get the lowest prices of the season on all in-stock and special order patio furniture. Buy early, save big. Visit us in Natick, Foxborough, or at seasonalspecialtystores.com.
See that the wind gusts out here are pretty strong right now, which made it a little bit more difficult for the bomb squad unit detonating this device. The fire department and bomb squad unit with the state police department wrapped up out here within the last hour. We want to get to video from the Duxbury Fire Department, though, as the bomb squad unit detonated the device. Firefighters say they were called out here off Gurnett Road just before 3 o'clock this afternoon after someone found an unknown device on the beach. We're told that person brought it to the parking lot nearby, and that's when police and firefighters were called to the scene, and they blocked off the area. Firefighters say the bomb squad unit determined it was a military-grade signal flare used in search and rescue missions and for training purposes. Firefighters say the concern with this is the phosphorus contained in this device because they burn at very high temperatures, but they were able to detonate it safely. It's why they ask people not to touch them and just call police or firefighters immediately so they can figure out what it is. The bridge was closed out here earlier while they were at the scene, but it is now open again. Firefighters say that luckily no one was injured. We're in Duxbury. Diane to WCVB News Center 5.
Okay, and there you go on that report. Power restored to thousands after storm brings heavy, wet snow. Let's take a listen to this video from WMTW, David Charnes.
for the Protection of Animals invites you to buy a bale and help feed the horses. Every $5 you give feeds a horse for an entire day. Thank you for helping these remarkable horses.
Okay, sorry about that, everyone. It looks like that video is not properly working. Sorry about that. Power was restored to thousands of Mainers as of Saturday's snowstorm came to an end. Thousands throughout the day, power lines and tree limbs were caked with heavy, wet snow. At one point Saturday morning, there were more than 12,000 outages across the state as a result of the storm, which started Friday night and ran into Saturday. Many areas saw nearly a foot of snow or more. CMP crews worked throughout the day to restore power as outages were reported. As of around 7 p.m., CMP reported that there were no more outages. The next week looks to be a stormy as well, with snow and rain possible on Tuesday and rain possible for the end of the week. Ivanka Trump, Jared Kushner, worth to $740 million. Let's take a listen to this video from ABC News.
Did you notice that there's so many prices out there for the exact same room? I know. I've been asking this a lot lately, but this is what it really means. The same hotel room can have up to 10 different prices across the internet. So even if you spend a lot of time looking around, chances are that it's still out there for a better price. So make one last check before you book. The Trivago check. Trivago compares prices from over 150 websites to make sure you find your ideal hotel for the best price. Hotel Trivago.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us on this Saturday. I'm Tom Yamas, and we begin tonight with a fuller financial snapshot of White House senior staff. A trove of financial disclosure forms spelling out the astounding wealth of President Trump's team, adding up to at least $12 billion. Sparking new debate tonight, the roughly $740 million real estate and business empire of son-in-law Jared Kushner and first daughter Ivanka Trump as they work alongside the president. Chief strategist Stephen Bannon reporting nearly $200,000 in consulting fees last year from Breitbart News. The vast disclosures answering some questions, but also raising many more. ABC's David Wright starting us off tonight from the White House.
Tonight, a rare glimpse inside the rarefied world of Donald Trump's West Wing. The collective net worth of the president's senior staff and cabinet officials, at least $12 billion. Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner, alone details a real estate and business empire worth up to $740 million, benefiting him and his wife, Ivanka. Both are unpaid White House staff members, but Ivanka Trump retains her stake in the newly opened Trump International Hotel here in D.C., the property her father frequently visits. Her stake valued at $5 to $25 million.
That hotel is full of conflicts of interest. It's going to be an ethics quagmire.
The president's controversial chief strategist Steve Bannon lists assets worth up to $54 million. Populist rage, channeled through conservative media enterprises and consulting, has clearly been lucrative for him. Advisor Kellyanne Conway and her husband worth up to $40 million when Trump took office. Among the most modest members of the senior staffers, spokesman Sean Spicer lists real estate holdings valued at up to $5 million. Chief of Staff Reince Priebus lists assets worth a mere $1 million or so and earned $500,000 a year as head of the RNC.
It's an ethics nightmare.
Richard Painter is a former Bush administration ethics czar, now part of a watchdog group that's suing Trump over his refusal to divest from his business interests.
A lot of the people who are working in this White House have substantial investments in privately held companies, and we need to know much more about where they're borrowing their money, or we're not going to know what the conflicts of interest are.
Today, President Trump vented his outrage at the ongoing probe into Russian meddling in the November election, an investigation he's previously called a witch hunt. Trump tweeted, "It is the same fake news media that said there was no path to victory for Trump that is now pushing the phony Russia story, a total scam." But this weekend, angry constituents taking a different view faced down the Republican congressman leading the House probe, calling the watchdog a lapdog. Republican Devin Nunes used to work for the Trump transition team. He's been accused of diverting the focus toward Trump's claims that President Obama spied on him.
There's not a better person in the House of Representatives to do this investigation than me, because I've been the one who's warning about Russia for a long, long time.
And David Wright joins us live from the White House now. There's late-breaking news tonight about former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn and his financial disclosure.
That's right, Tom. In his initial disclosure, Flynn did not list payments for speeches from 3 different Russian companies. Just yesterday, he filed a form correcting that omission. No comment from the White House, but in the midst of all this chatter about Russia, it's bound to raise some eyebrows.
The former general still causing trouble for that White House. All right, David, thanks so much. And, of course, all the latest on This Week tomorrow, plus Martha Raddatz with U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations, Nikki Haley.
Okay, and there you go on that report. And now let's take a look at some events happening today in New Hampshire. A Kid's Summer Night's Dream at 7:30 p.m. in Lincoln. Winter's Farmers Market at 10 o'clock a.m. in Amherst. Senior Bingo at 12 p.m. in New Durham. Exploring Our Way Autism Partnership Program at 10 o'clock a.m. in Dover. The Story of a Bad Boy at 7 p.m. in Portsmouth. Keene Vocal Consort at 3 p.m. in Keene. And Flying Film Series Patterson at 6:30 p.m. in Plymouth. And those are all the events happening today in New Hampshire. I hope you all have a great rest of your Sunday. See you back here later on today. Bye, everyone.